What's going on, folks? It's your boy again, back in the building here, Doc Sean Thomas, for episode 49 of the Be More Today show. We're back in the building. And folks, for the month of March, it's my favorite month. You already know, March babies, you guys rock. Everyone else rocks as well, but March babies have a special place in my heart, of course. But we're here for the Be More Today show, episode 49, and it's been a great year so far. We've been bringing on all-star guests. Really kicking off 2021 in style, and I'm excited for the people we have coming on today as well. Before I get into any of that information, of course, Be More Today is a movement. We're still pushing forward with so many great things. My book is out there. Podcast is continuing to be pushed out there. Now we're heard in 32 countries, so super excited about that, and just continuing to keep people motivated. To give out good content and to make sure that people just stay inspired to be the best version of themselves. That's been our whole journey, our whole mission. So if you listen to one show or 1,000 shows, I really appreciate you and your love and support. It means the world to me. So continue to follow us on all major platforms. bemoretoday.com has everything you need for a book, music, podcasts, everything you need for exercises. We're doing workouts on YouTube every single week now. So there's no excuse for people not to get out there and to be the best version of themselves. And that's going to be my continual mission, to push people to do that. All right. My quote for today is simple as always. It's by Nelson Mandela. And he said, "A winner is a dreamer who never gives up. It always seems impossible until it's done." Impossible until it's done. I know if you're listening, you've been through some kind of struggle this year or even last year, right? Because we have all been through COVID-19 and everything else around us. But dreamers are people who never give up, right? It always seems impossible until it's done. Whatever you're trying to do, whether it's schoolwork, your careers, whatever you're trying to get through, it's going to seem impossible. But you can get through this stuff. And we're all dreamers, right? We all have something that we want to dream towards getting, either a house or a car or whatever it is. We have dreams and aspirations that we've had since we were kids. And some of us, even in our 40s, 50s, 60s, still have dreams. I want to keep pushing people to not stop these dreams, right? Continue dreaming, continue pushing. And it always isn't impossible. I mean, Nelson Mandela is a clear example of someone who went through all kinds of stuff. And he didn't really get into his stride until his latter years, when he became president. So it's never over. It's always something we can keep pushing forward. And for those of you who have dreams at an early age, I'm super impressed. And my guest for today embodies that. She's a track star among track stars. She has big dreams and big goals. And this is actually our second installment of the Be More Today Kids segment. So BMT Kids Part 2 is right now. And our guest for today is Jada Pierre. And Jada Pierre was born December 3rd, 2002 in Houston, Texas. Jada's mother began coaching another athlete when Jada was just 6 years old. Now, Jada would attend practice with her mother and would just run around having fun. One day, she asked her mother if she could run at the track with her older god sister, Lexy. Jada ran her first race at the age of 7 and has been going ever since. Jada was also the smallest running in her age group and would always miss making the finals in her events, 100 meters and 200 meters. Now, at the age of 11, Jada was introduced to the hurdles as well as the multi-events. She liked the hurdles, but not the multi-events. The first few years of hurdling were interesting, as she said, and she was determined to learn. It wasn't until she was 13 years old she began to be more competitive in the hurdles and the sprints. She started at high school at C.D. Hilton in Manassas, Virginia, and had a phenomenal freshman year. Not only was she a stellar athlete, but she was also an honor roll student at Hilton. Though she suffered a knee injury at the very, very end of her freshman year, and it would impact her sophomore and portions of her junior year. Transferring to Bullis High School in Potomac, Maryland, to complete her junior and senior year, Jada trained hard in the pool and limited track work to ensure she would be able to compete. Just as Jada was starting to show form, COVID-19 hit, and the indoor and outdoor season was canceled. Jada maintained a 3.5 GPA at Bullis High School and continued to train throughout the summer and fall in anticipation for track meets. Now, as December 4th and 5th of last year was her debut, and boy, did she show out. At that meet, Jada put down times that placed her number 1 in the 60-meter hurdles among high school girls and number 3 in the 60-meter dash among high school girls. She has continued to make great strides on and off the track. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, pets included, please welcome to the stage Jada Pierre and her mother, Mel's. Folks, what's going on?
Hi. Hi.
Yeah, we're back. Now I gotta just say, Mel's, you and I went to high school together. Um,
Yep, yep.
it's been a crazy journey watching you from afar. We ran together. So we went to Choate, we
Yep.
ran. I don't think your daughter knows this, but we had a great time running at Choate, and we would do all kinds of dances when we used to run races, and it was just fun. It was so
Yes.
much
Yeah.
fun. And
Yes,
you
yes.
you were a superstar athlete who came in and just ripped everything up on the track. Like I don't know, Jada, I don't know if you know. Did you know? Mom was nasty. Like
Every time.
amazing. As long as you know, as long as you know. So, I had to have you on the show because now, I haven't seen you in years, but I did see that your daughter was just doing great things, and I really wanted to just highlight
Yeah.
the legacy between you two. So, thank you guys so much for being on the show today.
Thank you, Sean, so much for having us. I will say Jada still thinks she can beat me. So
I can.
I'm not getting into family business, but I like the enthusiasm and the competition, and just Mel, tell us how things are going on with you, and then Jada will go to you next. Melly, how you been? What's going on with you since I've seen you? Last time I saw you was probably I don't even know, like 20 years ago, if not
Y-
more.
yeah, I think
So
so. I
how have
think
you been?
so.
What's going on with you? And how's it been now that you're a mom and mentoring this up and coming track star in your life?
Mhm. It's been great. I mean, when I graduated from Tech, Choate, I went to Texas Tech, and I ran Division 1 with Tech, and had a pretty good college career. And life has had its ups and downs, but it's been great. Jada, I was blessed to be Jada's mom, and even from birth, she has been such a easygoing child. She's definitely an easygoing teen. I don't have a lot of my friends, they tell me about having a teenage daughter. She's 18, and I haven't had, thank God, the woes, right? And when she was 6, I never, people thought that I forced her into track, right? And I never wanted to do that. So I always was just like, yes, come with me to practice. And her god sister was a top sprinter in Virginia, and I started training her, and she, went on to James Madison University. And Jada just started running, and I was thrilled with the fact that my daughter wanted to run. But I always wanted to make sure it wasn't because of me; it was because that's what she really wanted. So life has been great coaching her. My first year not coaching her was last year when we transferred to Bullis. So I didn't have the direct lineage on coaching her once she transferred to Bullis, because she had a hurdles coach and a sprint coach. Coach Derek Johnson is her hurdle coach, and Coach Joseph Lee is her sprint coach. And so I kind of, fill in when I need to. So it's been a great experience for me, just watching her, and excited to see next steps, excited to see, where she lands. And, life has been good. I really can't complain. It's been really good.
Cool. That's awesome, Melly. And Jada, you have been running through so many different hurdles, no pun intended, right? But COVID-19 and other things. How's it been training, Zooming with school and COVID-19? How are you doing right now in terms of all that?
Um, well, in the beginning, it was a little rough transitioning from seeing your friends and being in school every day. So that transition was kind of rough. But now that I've had it for so long, been in online Zoom, it's definitely gotten easier. It's become normal to me. So I've definitely grown, and I actually like staying home now.
It's funny. A lot of people who did not want to be home at all have really found comfort in, being home and being more productive at home. And I have not been home. I've been working since we never went home because I do physical therapy, so I'm always out there anyway with people. But to have the opportunity to be home and actually to do things and still be productive in that environment, I think a lot of people do find that to be comforting. Some people don't like it still, but most of the students I've spoken to have all been like, "Yeah, this is great. You just be on Zoom, do your thing, and whatever else." Um, so Jada, I know you've been running since Mom said age 7, and Mel, when you and I ran at Choke together, you actually inspired me. You inspired me to be a better runner because I know you graduated before I did, and I did things after Choke. Clearly, I ran D1 like you did at Brown University, and pushed forward doing that. But the interest and the spark, I think, for track and field, which if you run track, track is just it's a thing. So people who love it love it.
Mhm.
So Jade, I'm
Mhm.
curious for you. Since you started running at such a young age, what sparked the interest? Was it watching mom? Was it watching your god sister? What sparked the interest for you to really start to really put some effort into this track and field thing?
My first, it was watching my god sister Lexy run and her competing and her winning and watching my mom and her train every day. I was like, yeah, I want to do this. I like this. Let me try this. And then my first couple of years, it was a little rough, but then but then I really buckled down and I was like, if I really want to be good at this sport, I need to put in that hard work. And ever since then, I've been just putting that hard work in at practice and in school and outside of track so I can be great.
Hmm. I like you saying be great because greatness is something that your mom definitely was. I mean, I don't know if you
Aw.
know, like I was witness to your mom breaking multiple school records in high school. Like almost every week a different record went down. 100, 200, 400 relay, whatever it is, it was going down. So I'm curious, Jaden, how much you know about your mom's career and how much you feel like her career or her track experiences have inspired you to run track.
So I do know she was a 2-4 runner. She trying to get me to do that 4 ever since I was little, but um, she always tells me about her times and shows me her medals and stuff. So I definitely know about her track career. And seeing all the hard work and dedication she has put into track has made me want to put just as much or a little bit more to reach my goals as I go through my track career.
Okay. Yeah, and I see that. I mean, um, the one thing I will say is that, my dad also ran track. My dad was a big time track runner in New York. He was a 4.8 guy. So he actually was like an eight
Mm.
8 mile guy. So his high school team, boys high, they set the state record for the 4x8 back in the 60s, and that record was never broken until literally like 5 years ago. So he was also the
Mhm.
person pushing me to say, "Oh, you got to run the 8. You got to run the 8." And I never ran the 8. that was not. That wasn't gonna happen. I was not. No, I was not doing that. But that legacy is still there because whether you run the 2-4 like your mom or you're doing the sprints, it's still track and it's still you doing uh, the family business, as I'll say, and making your own legacy, making a legacy for yourself and a name for yourself. So I think it's great that you found your own way and paved your own path. I'm curious now, though, mom said that she coached you for a while and you have other coaches. Um, how are your coaches staying connected with you during this COVID-19 time?
So Coach Derek and Coach Lee, they call me almost every day just to check up on me outside of track and also on the track. And then I practice with them Tuesday and Thursday for hurdles, and then Wednesday and Saturday with Coach Lee.
Yeah, so you said you're focused and you're getting your fix from both ends, and do you feel like you're staying motivated? I mean, I know it's hard to run, especially, if you're not having the facilities that you were having in terms of being able to go to practice every single day. Are you finding it hard to stay motivated, even though you're getting the calls from the coaches and even though they're checking in on you? What's your motivation level like right now?
So in the beginning of COVID, I definitely wasn't as motivated as I was because I didn't know my season was going to end. I didn't have it. So I was just going through those ups and downs. And then my coach, he was talking to us and he just said, sooner or later, this is going to end. And do you want to be prepared or not? So I was like, okay, well, I need to get back into myself and into control. And then I started like working out more and actually being more dedicated and doing everything I need to do on the track and outside of the track. So I definitely say I am pretty motivated. Yeah, I want to get to college, so that's probably my top motivation right there.
So speaking of that, and I know Mom went to Texas Tech, and Mel, I remember you going to Texas. I remember you signing with them and running there, and I followed you a little bit when you were there as well. Jada, you mentioned college. Is that one of the goals to run in college, D1? And if so, are there schools that you're interested in looking at right now without giving too much information away?
Yes, I definitely am interested in running at a D1 college. There are a couple of schools that I am interested in. I'm having conversations with right now.
Awesome. All right. Yeah. So, the whole thing about track and field is that it's definitely a gateway for other things. And some people either go all the way into it, like they become big time track professionals, or they use it as a medium to get to a different place for a different academic career. So, just out of curiosity, where is your mind frame right now? Are you thinking, look, I want to run the Olympics, that's what I want to do? Or are you thinking, look, I want to run so I can get an education to do something else?
Well, if the opportunity presents itself for me to run in the Olympics, I definitely would take it. But I just want to run right now to get an education and go into chirotherapy, maybe be a chiropractor.
Oh, interesting. So why chiropractor out of curiosity?
When I got injured, I went to my god sister's chiropractor, Doc, and I know that the body works together. I didn't know how if one thing is off, it can offset everything else. So seeing how he just worked on my body and adjusted me and how I got back and better, I was like, yeah, I want to do this. I'm really interested in pursuing this career and to help other kids that went through the same situation as me.
It's funny you mentioned having a knee injury. I remember when I was actually in high school at Choate with Mel. This is actually after she left. I got hurt my senior year. I tore my meniscus, and I actually had surgery, so I had to go see a physical therapist, and that's how I got into learning about the realm of physical therapy and seeing how influential it was and impactful it was for me to go through rehab and get better so quickly with the help of that discipline. So, I'm always a believer in that everything happens for a reason, and I think that was why I needed to learn and be exposed to that profession. So it may be the same for you. It's very possible that the chiropractic field may be your gateway to that thing that you want to do in the greater scheme of life, which would be fantastic. And a lot of former athletes do, delve back into the healthcare field either because they went through something like you and I did, or because they just feel so connected still to the human body and how great it can be. So, yeah, I definitely say pursue that in all ways. And if you ever need someone to talk to you about that, I've had a chiropractor on the show who actually I ran with at Brown, who was a great friend of mine. So if you ever want to meet him or talk to him, I can definitely hook you guys up with that. Okay. So, out of
Nice.
curiosity, how are you balancing school and athletics? Because I know that, and Mel, you can attest this as well. Being a student athlete is tough. It's a lot of balancing in terms of scheduling, in terms of time, even in terms of your focus. Because most people aren't doing 2-hour workouts and then having to go home tired and then having to study. It can be a lot. And I know Zoom is one thing now, so it's different. Like your coach said, at some point in time, this is going to end. And at some point in time, you'll have to get back into that rigorous routine where you go into practice for 2 hours and then you're going home tired to eat real quick and then get to the books. And Mel can tell you the D1 thing is no joke. I mean, it's real. It's like you're competing against the best of the best, and then you're still trying to get your work done. It's a lot. So how are you balancing those things, and do you think that you'll be able um, to carry that over from the high school realm to the college realm?
So most people don't know this, but I live in Virginia and my school's in Maryland. So having to commute, it's like 45 minutes to an hour every day. So to keep myself balanced, I keep a schedule and I just take each day one step at a time so I don't get overwhelmed. And I definitely do think I will be able to carry um, this over my balancing schedule between school and track into D1 because I've sacrificed so much for Bullis. So I feel like because I'll be in one area, it'd be easier for me, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm. And
yeah.
Sean, can I just add real quick? The
Hmm.
commute, so Northern Virginia traffic is crazy. I don't know if you've ever seen it or been involved, and 45 minutes to an hour without traffic. So if we hit a traffic jam, it could be very well an hour and a half.
Mm.
And Bullis is like choke. You know what I mean? The rigor of the education piece of it, and just kind of the aspects of just being able to buckle down. So I have definitely been impressed with the way Jada has balanced. And as a student athlete, you have the time management is so important. So we'll be driving to school or driving home, and she's reading something, she's doing homework in a car, just to make sure when we get home, she's not up till midnight, doing homework. And sometimes,
Mhm.
it's that way. And she knew when we decided to go to Bullis, she knew it was going to be a sacrifice. So she sacrificed hanging out with friends and, those kind of things, even though she's able to do some of it, but sometimes we have to choose, right? Because
Mhm.
in Bullis, when before COVID, we had a very rigorous competition schedule. So Bullis is ranked girls and boys #1 in the nation, and so we travel all over the place, right? New York, we got invited last year to go to Jamaica, but because of COVID, it got canceled. So it's a high intense academic program and a high intense athletic program, and so
Mm.
I think the transition to college, not saying it's going to just be a cakewalk, but I think she will do fine because the commute piece will be removed. So we're not spending hours in the car after practice, or we have to leave home at 6 in the morning to be able to get to campus by 7:30, that
Mhm.
kind of stuff. So
Mhm.
I've been impressed watching her kind of navigate this and be able to like you say, be more and do more.
Yeah. 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 No, I think that's actually completely accurate. The commute by itself makes everything super complicated, but if you're finding those tools now to use your time management for the benefit, then you should be fine with that transition. And Mel, I think you're completely right on that aspect. Sounds like Bullis is a great um, stomping ground, a practice ground for the bigger picture. It's going to be college for her, so
Hmm.
she should have no problem
Hmm.
transitioning to the bigger thing. Um, Melly Mel's, I'm curious now what you would say, um, if because you and I met when we were in our teenage years, and the teenage years, and I'm just curious what advice you would give Jada now as your daughter, as she's basically where she is where you and I were when we met, right? So,
Hmm.
what advice would
Hmm.
you give her in terms of um, the college experience, in terms of life in the next 4 years for her, in terms of anything related to being an athlete, being a female athlete, being a black female
Hmm.
athlete, all these different things that really
Hmm.
are nuances that not everyone can really attest to. I feel like you and your daughter really can share in an experience that is, although removed by time, very similar in terms of experience. So, what advice would you give her
Hmm.
if you were talking to your 18-year-old self um, about just anything that would be beneficial for her in the next 4 years?
Yeah. Man, it's a lot, I would say, but to keep it short, one of the things that I would say is, you have to find your passion. What is that thing that if you were not being paid, you can do anyway? So once you find your passion, then everything else kind of falls into place, right? Sometimes you're going to have to work a little harder to be where you need to be at that point. I also believe that, spiritually, I'm very spiritually connected. So spiritually for me has kept me afloat. It has kept me, my personality is very bubbly. I think I've always been kind of a bubbly person anyway, right? And so with life trials, things are going to happen, right? But you have to understand it's not what happens to you, it's how you respond to it. And I pray over her every day, and I pray that the what she's learned from me, what she's seen me do, she takes that and then some, and just never give up. I don't care what it looks like right now, because God always has the last say, and has the plan for our lives. So
Mm, mm. Powerful words. Powerful words to live by. Jada, last question before the break. I know you've heard all that mom said, and sometimes I think that we take what our parents say for granted, myself included. But I do think that what she's saying is actually completely accurate, and it's really about making sure that we're prepared to move forward. And we're gonna have failures. We always talk about failing forward. I mean, even your injury, right? It's something that you thought was a delay for you, but really, it may have even exposed you to something that you may want to do professionally for the rest of your life. So, I would just take all those things not for granted, but as nuggets, and make sure you apply all that stuff moving forward, and just appreciate the journey. Every failure you've had is going to make you stronger in the end, and everything you've done up to this point is just getting you ready for your next race, if you will. So, I just want to talk
yeah.
lastly before the break about this athlete award that you won. Were you athlete of the month, athlete of the week? Talk to me. What happened? I saw something online, and I voted. I voted for you, and I know you
Thank
won.
you.
So talk to the people online about this accolade that you were given. Seemed like a little while ago now, but just talk to them about what happened.
So every week, Mile Split, that's an online source where you can watch athletes and just stay connected through track. But every week they do like an athlete of the week. And that particular week, I was in the running, and I actually won thanks to my friends and family. Thank you guys.
That's right. I voted for that. I saw that, and I said, "Let me vote for this real quick." And congrats on that. It's a big accolade, and I think it's going to be just one of many that you're going to be experiencing moving forward. So, kudos to you for that. Folks, if you're just joining us, episode 49 of the Be More Today show, we're here with Jada Pierre, superstar runner. We're doing a BMT Kids segment. Uh, it's episode 2 of that segment, and we're super excited because her mom is here also, Melonie Barrow, old-time friend of mine, Choate alumni. We used to get down with the Get Down folks. And it's fun seeing the legacy now between them because the apple does not fall far from the tree. Jada is super fast, and mom was super fast, and I'm not sure who's faster, but I'm not getting into that. But I do want to ask a question to Jada now, because this is the question I ask all the BMT segments, for all the kids segments. And Jada, you're walking into this life at a place where it's nothing that we had ever imagined, right? When mom and I went together, life was very nice. It was nothing that was like COVID-19. There was no Zoom learning. You have experiences and challenges that we had never even thought about, and you're coming through it and with flying colors. So I'm curious now that as you look at the world and you see everything that's happening around you with Black Lives Matter, with new administration, with everything that may be happening in Virginia, Maryland, which is very different than happening in New York, but similar and the same. If there's one thing you could change in the world to make it a better place, of all the things you've seen up to this point in your life, what would that one thing be?
If I could change one thing, it would probably be societal expectation or social norms.
Can you talk a little more about that? What exactly do you mean when you say that?
So society has you think that you have to be one way to be accepted, and we tend to see people hide themselves, in order to fit in. And I just feel like if we take societal norms and expectations away, everybody can be themselves. Because people who try to fit in, they're not happy inside because they're trying to fit into societies, what they deem as um, the right way or normal.
Yeah, I mean that's a big time point. I do agree with that. I think that especially the pressures of with your generation and I guess ours now because we're a part of it, social media makes everything
Yeah.
super challenging when it comes to that, right? And the
Uh-huh.
definition of what normal is or what success is or what right or wrong is painted on our screens, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, etc., every single day. So I think it's hard to not want to conform to those societal norms, but I do think that, like you said, it's everyone's different. Everyone has their own lane that they should be, and we should be comparing each other to each other, but just letting everybody be who they are, and letting everyone experience their own journey. So yeah, that would be a great thing to change. If you were to pick one, very very good. So Jada, I don't know if you know, your mom probably knows more than you do, but Be More Today is basically our company. It's our brand. I wrote a whole book, Be More Today, a 4A guide to a better version of you. And in the book, I actually put a lot of my track experiences from high school and from college, along with some work experience and just life experience being a therapist. And it's been great for me to share my journey. But I'm always curious when people hear the phrase "Be More Today," what it means to them, because it's different to everyone. And you are number 49 on this list of people I've asked. So, Jada Pierre, when you hear the phrase "Be More Today," what does the phrase "Be More Today" mean to you?
Be more today means to me that tomorrow's not promised. So treat today as it's your last and just work hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's as simple as that. Now, my follow-up question for you is, why do you think some people don't do that? So I ask everybody on the show what people are saying. They always give me a "Be More Today" means this, it means this, it means this, and they all give me similar answers. But I've never actually asked somebody why people don't do that. I think it's very easy for us to say, yeah, just be more. What's the big deal? Let's just do it. But 9 times out of 10, we don't do that, or it's hard for us to do it naturally. So, out of curiosity, what's one of the things that you think holds someone back from being as motivated or as driven as you are, or as more as you are when it comes to track and field and other things?
Um, First of all, they think they'll have tomorrow. Or I'll just put it off. I can do that tomorrow, but tomorrow's not promised. Also, some people believe that it'll just be given to them without having to work hard and putting in going that extra mile to do stuff. So those are probably the two things that for people that don't want to do or be more today.
Yeah, I think that's powerful. I think that's one of the reasons why people, even when it comes to track and field, right? Because you're going to be going
Hmm.
into D1, and I know bullets is good. I'm not saying it's not, but D1 is totally like everyone's good.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
everyone's. You think you bad. Everybody's bad. You know what I mean? So it's the best of the best, and it's really people who get to
Mm.
that level that really start to show what Be More Today is. It's really about putting in the extra effort now, because it's not just about you relying on your own talent. You got to really put in a little extra, a little more training, a little more looking at the video, a little more
Hmm.
working on your body, a little more getting that sleep, getting that rest, because now you're going against people who are just as good, if not better than you are. And they're going to bring that fire every single time to the track. So now you may be beating people by, you know, seconds. But when you get to D1, it's milliseconds. You know what I mean? It's
Yep.
because everyone's as driven or as pushing as you are. So it really is. It's the small things that differentiate those champions when you get to that level. And the same as for professional sports. It's the small things that happen. Think about
Mhm.
LeBron James and what he does for his body. He spends $1 million on his body every single year just for maintenance, just to make sure that his
Yep.
body is able to work and function day in, day out. And it shows because he's now 38 years old doing whatever he's doing. So it's those kind of things that sets you apart from somebody else. So I think as long as you lay down the foundation for what you want to do now, there's no reason why you can't transfer that over into the D1 realm. So I think you're on the right track. I'm curious though about what's one thing that you want to start doing this year, or have already started doing this year, in preparation for getting ready to be more at the college level?
So I definitely have been working on my time management, because we're human, so we do struggle with that. My mom has definitely helped me to start doing things on my own and becoming more. I'm already independent, but not having to rely on her 24/7. So that starts with good things around the house, cooking more, making dinner for myself and for us. So I definitely have started doing that more.
Yeah, I mean that's all stuff that's gonna be a foundation. Mel, is this all true? Is she actually saying truths right now, or?
Yes, yes, yes. This my only baby, right? She's my only one, and reality is she's getting ready to go off to college. So I wanted one of the things that important for me was not to be a helicopter mom, right? We're very close and we spend a lot of time together, but I also we have those moments where she needs her own space, I need my own space. I was always very clear that when we're home, I'm mom, and when we're on the field, I'm Coach Mel. And sometimes we had some moments, um, but I think at the end of the day she appreciated that, and it was hard juggling, because as mommy I want to be mommy and cuddly, and as Coach Mel I'm like, listen, we got to get this, we got to hit these times. I'm not happy with that rep, and then when we leave the track, now we're mommy daughter again, right? And then I started telling her, when you go to college, she had this idea that I was going to be on the coaching staff wherever she went to college, right? She used to say that all the time. Don't worry, you're going to go with me. I'm like, that's a no. So you absolutely have to start doing things on your own. She's driving now, so I feel comfortable with her going to the store and just doing different things. She's cooking. I'm like, you have to. She's been doing laundry on her own since she was like 8. So I just wanted to prepare her. And as a single mom, I just wanted to make sure she was well rounded so that when she does go to college, it's not, I mean, she's going to miss me. We're going to miss each other, but it's not going to be so devastating that she's not able to perform and meet the expectations or whatever she has for herself.
Mm-hmm. Now that's big. I think you guys have definitely set the blueprint for success, given all that you've been through. And I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm excited to see Jada excel and in the D1 level, and wherever you go, you're going to be great. So there's no doubt in my mind about that.
Thank you,
So
Sean.
as we close, I just want to have some final tips. First, Melly Mel, from you, I'm just curious. I have a daughter too, and I think we're only going to have one, which is fine. But I'm just curious, what are some tips that you want to share, as a single mom who's had one child, about just ways that you've done to keep her so motivated and so engaged? 'Cause I do know everyone says, one child is no child, which I'm always like insulted by, because, a child is a child, no matter how
Yes,
many you have.
right.
But, I do get the concept of having more kids makes it easier for people or for kids to interact with each other and what have you. And being an only child can sometimes be challenging. But, only child syndrome, whatever people want to call it, is nothing that should keep anybody back from being excellent in what they're doing. And clearly you guys have done that with Jada.
Hmm.
So any tips you want to share with parents who only have one child, about ways you've kept them engaged, without the
Right.
accessibility of having other siblings, but with other things that you've introduced into her life to make her such a great role model for other students?
Absolutely. Well, one of the things I will say is stop listening to other people when they talk about you need to have more children, right? You got to go with what works for your family. And so, for me, had to go what worked for us. Now, the other thing that I did, Jada was in Girl Scouts for about 6 years. So, I was a cookie mom, we went camping. I tried to make sure that whatever, I can get her in, we're going to connect. She was in Delta Gems. And so that was like with the Delta Sigma Theta sorority. And they talked about, etiquette and leadership. And so I was always intentional about connecting her without overwhelming her. I also gave her a platform to have her moments. So sometimes, we all get moody sometimes, right? And so I gave her her platform to be able to say, Mom, today's not a good day. Okay, check. I just want to check in. You doing all right? Yep. Okay. Let me know when you feel better. Because if we don't give our kids an opportunity to have emotions, right, then they become emotionless, or they just kind of flow and go with what you say. And I always wanted her to be independent, right? I wanted her to have her own mind, to think for herself, and have her voice. I don't want her to ever feel like she doesn't have a voice. Being a young African American female, we have our own, things that we have to deal with. And I wanted her to be strong. I wanted her to understand, regardless if she grew up in a household with 10 people or one person, she is still the best of the best. And she has to know that. So as a parent, you have to allow your child to experience some consequences, right? So as parents, we want to shield them from everything, right? I call it the bumper car syndrome. We want to be the rubber on the bumper car so that they never get hurt, right? And not hurt in a bad way, but there's some natural consequences that our children have to go through. And, I'll give you a quick example. When she was little, Jada liked this sweater. She wanted to wear the sweater to school every single day. And it was about 85 to 90 degrees outside. And it was a winter sweater. And she cried. She wanted to wear the sweater. So I let her wear the sweater to school, but I put a t-shirt in the bag because I knew she was going to sweat. And so when she got out to the park running, she was always a runner, and she was sweating profusely. And I told the teachers, I said, listen, I let her wear that sweater today because if I didn't, our morning wasn't going to go well. And sure enough, by, noon, Jada had that sweater off. But had I not allowed her to wear the sweater, first of all, natural consequences didn't kill her, right? It didn't harm her, but she was hot. And so I think as parents, we have to be okay with allowing our children to experience those natural consequences, and also giving them room to communicate with us and not judge them based on what they're feeling, but give them the space to communicate so that we can talk about it. I didn't shield her from anything. I grew up in the Bronx, so I was exposed to a lot. Jada's life is a lot different, but we talk about those things because just because she lives in, Virginia, and she hasn't been around what I grew up around, it doesn't mean that she won't be exposed to it at some point in her life, just because you never know who you run into, what circumstances. So I needed her to be mindful that everybody is not pleasant all the time. Everything is just not, hunky dory because you live in Virginia in this kind of sheltered world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Jada, I mean, you have your mom with you, so you have one of the best role models ever. So I think you're gonna be great.
Oh,
And I think
thank you,
that
Sean.
I'm just super excited for where this journey can go. And like your coach has said, when COVID-19, whenever that thing goes away and you're back on the track more consistently, then we'll see what's really going on. But I'm just really impressed with you as a young person, and I'm glad that you were able to be on the show today for the second installment of Be More Today, kids. Any final tips you want to share, Jada, with aspiring runners, runners who are of your age or who are getting into running high school wise, or going to be running in college, or any tips you want to share with anybody who is trying to be a stellar athlete like you about your success or about ways just to stay motivated during this time?
Yeah, so my only advice I would give is just have patience. Your time will come. If you continue to work hard and put in that extra, doing the little stuff, in due time your results will come. They will show. So just remember to have fun too.
Yes, having fun is probably the hardest thing for people to remember to do, but it's when you have fun where everything kind of comes together. So Jada, where can people follow you, either on social media or Facebook or otherwise?
You can follow me on Instagram. It's JJADDA_.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so, so much for being, I guess, on episode 49 of Be More Today show. We really appreciate it. And Melonie Barrow, you already know. It's been great catching up with you. And yeah,
Yes.
I'm looking forward to the journey. We're going to continue to follow you guys moving forward. And we'll have to have you back on the show whenever we figure out what school Jada's going to be going to and she gets to
Okay.
winning those awards and medals, we'll bring you guys back on and have a quick little recap. So thank you so, so
Sean,
much.
thank you so much for having us. We are so good to catch up with you, and blessings to you and your beautiful family, and just continue to do what you do. This is so necessary. Thank you. Thank you.
No problem at all. And folks, don't forget our quotation from earlier by Nelson Mandela. A winner is a dreamer who never gives up. It always seems impossible until it's done. Jay is definitely a dreamer and a winner. Her mom also the same. And we've gotten through so many things as people of color together. But Jada's story is memorable only to me in the sense that she's going to be great. And the same way that mom was great in her own regard, Jada too was going to be great. And they both are winners in my mind. So whatever you're trying to do, folks, in terms of your dreams, your goals, aspirations, never give up. It's always seems impossible until it's done, and it will get done. But like Jada said, you got to keep pushing. You got to keep having the fun, right? And remember that
Hmm.
what your why is. Remember why you're doing this stuff. Stay motivated. Stay motivated. For more information about Be More Today, visit our website, bemoretoday.com. For again, music, my book, our podcast. Again, subscribe in all platforms if you want to. Please, it's on there. And just continue to stay inspired. We're going to continue to put these shows out for you guys. Great content for the rest of this year. And if you want to send us some thoughts or you want to send Jada a message, you can always do that and Be More Today. Be More number 2 day at gmail.com or any of our social media platforms. We are available for messages at all times. The Words for Life podcast every single Wednesday, folks. Continue to watch that and follow that. Great content, great inspiration for spiritually minded people. And as I always say, have a good day. Have a good night. Have a great life and continue to take your steps to greatness to be the best version of you. We'll see you later. Peace.